Welcome to Amish Roots, plain talk in a modern world. Thank you for joining me. Last week I answered the phone and had someone ask me if I wanted my ducks cleaned. Usually, when these types of calls come in, my phone will tell me that it's probably a scam when it's a number that my phone doesn't recognize. But this time it didn't say that. And as I had to hustle to the phone, I picked up the call. As soon as they asked about the ducks, I knew it was a scam. So I politely said, "No thanks." My caller was not going to be pushed aside so easily and asked me, "Why not?" I was a little surprised they persisted. So I simply said, "We do it ourselves." And I hung up. My husband asked me who had called. And when I told him, he rolled his eyes and chuckled. I then joked to my husband that I wish when they had asked if I wanted my ducks cleaned, I would have said, "Well, we don't have ducks. We raise chickens." You know, a little different take on, is your refrigerator running? Well, go catch it. Ah, I'm just teasing. But these types of calls are really getting annoying. I remember getting a call one time about my computer. They were showing me on my computer a screen that they said was being hacked. At first, I believed them because they were moving the cursor on my computer and pressuring me by saying someone was trying to get into my files. When I told them I would get my husband to deal with it when he got home, they got quite animated and exclaimed it had to be dealt with now or I would be in trouble. They were telling me to press certain icons on the computer and they would walk me through it. In the back of my mind, I recalled someone saying if you get these types of calls, to just shut down the computer. So I asked him to hang on a second, and then I closed up all the windows on the computer and shut it off. At this point, he became angry and started shouting that I was not to close the computer, and then said, "If you don't follow these steps I'm giving you, the sheriff will be at your house in 15 minutes." That is when I knew for certain that they were trying to scam me. You see, we don't have sheriffs where I live, and I hung up. I was telling someone my story, and she told me that when these people call her father in law and tell him to check his computer, well, he patiently says, "Well, let me go check." He sets the phone down and proceeds to continue whatever it was he was doing when the call came in. You see, he doesn't have a computer, so he lets them hang on the line for however long it takes them to realize he's not coming back. Then he hangs up his phone. I thought this was hilarious. About a month ago, someone came to the door and wondered if we wanted gutter guards installed on our eaves troughs. I said I don't make those decisions, and if he leaves his card, my husband will call him back if we want it done. But he tried to pressure me a little, but I kept acting naive and saying, "Oh, only my husband makes those types of decisions." So he left. Well, the funny part of this story is because we've only been at our new house a short time, we didn't know whether we get a lot of debris in our eaves troughs or not. But one day, a windstorm blew one of the downspouts off, so my husband had to climb up to the roof to replace it. Turns out he discovered we already have gutter guards in place. The saddest part of these situations is that unsuspecting and vulnerable people get caught up in scams and lose their savings. Or they end up purchasing things they don't need because of unscrupulous sales tactics. Years ago, my husband and I began receiving the magazine Lululemon. Now, for anyone who does not know about this magazine, it is all the latest fashions, perfumes, and accessories for really skinny people. That is why we were so surprised when it came to us. Our fashion sense is best described as farmer meets city. Aftershave, deodorant, and body spray is our way of dressing up. And curvy is a kind way of describing our figures. So, needless to say, We wondered about receiving this magazine. As we investigated further, we realized that someone had gifted us Lululemon for a year. Wow! A whole year of looking at skinny people and what they wear for each season and wondering what somebody who knew us was trying to tell us. We shared this information with my husband's family, joking about our self esteem being put through the ringer. And this is when everything came to light. Turns out a phone salesman had talked my mother in law into purchasing the magazine. And not only were we receiving Lululemon, but my husband's siblings were also gifted a subscription to other magazines. The salesperson had chatted up my mother in law, finding out she didn't read magazines, but she had children who might enjoy them. They pressured her into the purchases by being kind to her, someone who lived alone. Well, I stopped browsing the Lululemon issues when they arrived in the mail, no longer wanting to be body shamed. Each one was carelessly thrown in the recycling bin upon its arrival. You know, the best response to a phone scammer that I've heard is when a friend of mine got a call and was asking the scammer why they were trying to scam her. The caller was arguing that it was a legitimate call, and my friend replied that she thought it was sad that the scammer would try to hurt people in this way and asked if it would be all right if she prayed with him. The scammer started getting upset and said this was not acceptable. But my friend simply started to pray that God would forgive the scammer for calling and hounding innocent people and trying to hurt them. The scammer started yelling and she kept praying. They hung up on her. Ah, who says prayer doesn't work? I find it bewildering that with all our advances with technology, that when my phone sends me a notification, my first thought has to be whether it is a legitimate call or a scammer. I find this quite sad. Now, I want to share with all my listeners that I will be posting my vlog only once a month for the time being. It will be the second Thursday of each month. I have other projects that need my attention, so I will be giving them my focus so that they get accomplished. Thank you for your continued support by listening to my stories. Mach's gut! And see you on November the 13th when Amish Roots will return for your viewing pleasure.